Hello everyone, this is Jotto and welcome to the Grand Tournament spoiler news thing. We had the announcement yesterday, which surprised absolutely no one. We all knew it was going to be something to do with the Origin tournament. However, they released the news on the Hearthstone expansion, the Grand Tournament, which is the worst name of any expansion we've had so far, just saying, because you can't shorten it. I've tried. Now what I mean is that you save BRM, GVG, Nax. What are you supposed to say here? Grand? Like, tournament? Argent, I guess? That's weird. Anyway, so, yeah. So this happened last night, and I'm going to go over everything they were talking about in this particular stream, and thanks to Hearthstone, all of the stuff is here. They even cropped out all the images. So anyway, first things first, this will be launched in August. That is next month, keep in mind. So yeah, these will be launched in August. 132 cards. That's a bit more than GVG, but not by much. The point is they're roughly the same size. A couple new mechanics. Inspire, where you activate a hero. Every time you activate your hero power, Inspire goes off. Things that interact with hero powers in general that are coming out, which is interesting. I'm not sure if I like the design, but it's interesting. It means that hero powering is less of a thing you do when you're completely out of mana and more of a thing you can actively do to get bonuses. So that's cool. 50-pack pre-purchase for $50. That's less than you normally buy 50 packs for, and you also get a card back, and the card back is here. Now I'm not too big on card packs, however it even has the animated thing. I think it looks decent. I don't really like this compared to some of the other ones. I think BRM's ones were very, very good, but it's still pretty good. I like the art on a lot of these. Besides that, we've got the new board. The new board, which is a little hard to see there, but yeah, I can't really zoom in on it. Now, the new board I have a bit of a complaint about, because I was looking at all the boards side by side, and I think this looks the worst. I don't know what interactions you have on the board, so maybe it should be a lot more fun than some of the other boards, but it just looks terrible. I don't know why. It's just something about the art style, it just doesn't look good. So I'm not a big fan of this board. However, it may be fun to interact with. My personal favorite board so far has been GVG's board with the laser. That's been a lot of fun. But yeah, we had some screenshots. We had a stream where they revealed each of the cards with mechanics. It was kind of funny though, because they had about, I want to say 20 minutes of just Eric Dodds putting off the thing. It was just like, no, we're just going to talk about some other random stuff. It was funny actually, even the cameraman got bored at one point. It was quite funny, he just started looking around randomly. But once we actually got to the cards, it was good. And then they did show matches, like with BRM's release stream, if you guys remember that. They did show matches to show off more cards in actual action. And they had best of threes between two decks, which took a while. I'm not sure if it was a good idea to have two best of threes, but the first one took a while because a lot of them went to fatigue. But I think it was a good idea. They had Trump and Amaz, then they had the winner play Firebat, who was playing Hunter, things like that. It was cool. Now, there was something rather funny that happened though, which was, I think the stream got DDoSed at one point, but there was yeah, something funny happened. As a reminder as to why I don't use spectator mode for Versus Series. What happened was that there was the first game of the best of three. The first best of three was Mage vs Shaman. Spectator mode broke 8 times in one game, and I don't mean slightly bugged. I mean completely broke. Nothing was showing on their own stream. It was hilarious. They actually had to stop using that version of spectator mode for a bit, so their interface that they spent so much time to work for was just useless. It was kind of hilarious, and I hope that after that experience, and that gave them a lot of bad PR when it comes to spectator mode, that they actually fix it, but I don't think that's going to happen. Anyway, on to the meat of this video, the cards. We got 15 cards, I think. No, there was one extra one, so we got 16 cards total. Some of these are class cards. We got some Hunter, Shaman, and Mage class cards. And the rest are neutrals, I think. Poison Blade, I looked at earlier, but I didn't actually, wasn't on stream, so what class is this for? Okay, yeah, I thought so, it's for a rogue. Alright. First things first, Koldara Drake. Now, Koldara Drake is a 6-mana 6/6 epic mage card. You can activate your hero power any number of times. It's also a dragon, which is sometimes relevant. Yeah, not so much a mage, but sometimes relevant. So this effect is interesting. We saw this on stream with a couple of the other cards to make it actually powerful. When it was on its own, it wasn't very good. When it was synergized with a couple other things, it was very powerful. So because of that, I'm going to say that the card isn't very good. The reason for it is because cards that require a lot of other cards to be good generally aren't that powerful in general. The exception being Ancient Watcher, and even then it's like the least powerful card in that deck. So, yeah, I'm going to say it's not spectacular, and something you'll actually notice is a lot of these cards are fairly mediocre when we look at everything individually. So, I'm not really impressed with the Koldara Drake, but we'll have to see. Poison Blade, this was not revealed on stream. I should know where this was revealed, but yeah. 4-mana 1/3 rogue weapon, epic. Your hero power gives this weapon +1 attack instead of replacing it. It's interesting. Now, the problem with this is that Assassin's Blade costs 1 more. To get this to the same level of damage as Assassin's Blade, you need to activate your hero power 3 times, which means you're investing a total of 10 mana over multiple turns. 10! That is not worth it. I mean, I know they try to incentivize hero powers, but there's a limit. And this is just not good. Poison Blade is harkening back to the old rogue hero power that if you had a weapon it pumped it instead. But this is really bad in my opinion. I really don't like Poison Blade. I think it's way too much investment. Maiden of the Lake. This is something we saw on stream in action a lot actually. 4-mana 2/6 common. Your hero power costs 1. Not 1 less, just 1. They don't stack. So this was interesting. We saw this with Mage and Koldara Drake, and that was interesting. That was quite powerful. I think there's enough synergy in Mage to make it work. The body is quite good. It's not fantastic, but it's good. It has the same stat amount as something like a Senjin. Not the same stat line, but the same amount, roughly. Oasis Snapjaw has more health, but it doesn't have the effect. So, I don't know about this. I think it's reasonable. I'm not sure how powerful it is, but I think it is reasonable. And we'll probably see someplace somewhere, depending on the rest of the set. Alright, Nexus Champion Sarad, our first legendary, 5-mana 4/5, legendary with Inspire, add a random spell to your hand. First of all, I don't like a card being this random. My god, this is basically the card that should have been in GVG, but they ran out of space. That's so much RNG, but anyway, so about the card itself, the stats are interesting. 4/5 for 5 is something which we don't normally see. We normally see 5/5s for 5. The problem with Sarad is it doesn't kill Sludge Belcher on attack. It doesn't deal with Loatheb very well at all. Although I guess if you're playing it in Mage, well, I think if you're playing this, you're playing it in Mage. I want to say that because the ping matters. So I guess it's fine against those. You get to draw a card if they don't kill it first. So you don't really want to play on turn 5. It's good late game. It's a nice card draw. I don't know. I think this could see play. I don't know how much play though. This could end up like Trogzor, where Trogzor ended up on the bad side of seeing play, whereas this could end up being on the good side of seeing play. It's not spectacular, but it is powerful enough to see some play, I think. Sky Cap'n Krog. Now this guy is riding a parrot. It's a parrot. That is the best art I've ever seen. But anyway, so 7 mana, 4/6 with charge. Good job, guys. Charge, really? Anyway, so it's a pirate. It costs 1 less for each friendly pirate. So it's terrible. But the point is, this is the obligatory pirate for the set. We get a couple pirates each set, hoping that they'll eventually be good, and they never are. So yeah, Scrappin' Night Krog is terrible, and I can't really pronounce his name, and I'm happy that I won't have to, because you never will. Not much to say, really. Anyway, Thunder Bluff Valiant. 5 mana, 3/6. Shaman Rare. Inspire, which is whenever you activate your hero power. Give your totems +2 attack. This is more powerful than it looks. The reason for it is because they're adding extra totems as creatures, which means you'll have more totems on board. Late game, this is basically a bloodlust. However, the question is, how powerful is it going to be on a practical level, because you need 7 mana to use it. A 3/6 is very, very hard to kill, though. So on turn 5, you play this hard to kill, then you can activate hero power, get some bonuses. It affects the totem that you summon. Ugh. Sorry, it's just early in the morning. I want to get this video out. Anyway, it affects the totem you summon, so you make a 2/2 whenever you use your hero power, or a 3/1. It's interesting. I think it is powerful on Season Play. Shaman got some nice new toys as far as the spoilers go. I think it's decent. I'm not sure exactly how strong, but I think it's decent. Also, it's a Kodo. I got a Kodo. Bull of Spiders, 6 mana rare Hunter card. Summon 3 web spinners. Okay, so this card is horrific. Now, the funny thing about it is that this was shown on a tracking. Firebat tracking, and he didn't pick the Bull of Spiders, needless to say, but it was shown on a tracking. The caster's reaction to this was basically Frodan just saying, I don't think it's that good, maybe no. Keep in mind that they're supposed to be kind of excited about this stuff. And then the next 10 minutes or 5 minutes or something was Kripparrian just talking about how it might be good in Arena. I'm not even joking. That was the entire conversation about this card. Absolutely no talk of it being constructed, because it's horrible. It's 6 mana for 3/1/1s, and the best thing about this is that it's like, whenever anyone tries to be apologetic about this card, I'm just like, high main. High main costs the same amount, has the same rarity. Oh, this is such a terrible card. Anyway, yeah, Bull Spiders is a horrible card, but yeah, it's basically 3 mana, summon 3/1/1s that give you 3 random beasts when they die. So you don't get them instantly, and you don't get to, then beasts are worse than cards, because you don't get to control exactly what they are. Yeah. Draenei Totem Carver. Carver? Yep. 4 mana, 4/4, Battle Cry, gain +1 for each friendly totem. This is a rare. So, this is a Frostwolf Warlord for totems. Not a constructed playable card. It just isn't. You need 2 totems on board to make it playable. In Arena, though, I think it's cool. You can get a 4 mana, 5/5, maybe a 6/6 if you're lucky. I think it's reasonable. It's not a worse Frostwolf Warlord because it costs 1 less. It's okay in Arena. I don't like it constructed, though. It's too clunky. Effigy, Mage Secret. If some of these look a bit weird on the cropping, it's because they were just detached from the stream and we haven't got the official sort of PNGs from Blizzard yet. Effigy, Secret, Rare Secret. When a friendly minion dies, summon a random minion with the same cost. Ugh. This card is very, very good, and I don't like it because it's incredibly random. Oh my god, so you get this off Mad Scientist, and the next minion you play doesn't really die. I think this is absurdly strong. I think it's up there with Mirror Entity as far as secrets that will be played in Mage. Because this is the 3rd and 4th secret that these mages have been looking for. All the mages that wanted to play 3 secrets sometimes were just cutting the 3rd one, which is not usually what you do with Mad Scientists. You normally run 3 secrets, but a lot of mages were just saying, you know what, the rest of them suck. Let's just run 2 mirror entities. But now you have Effigy that works in that archetype that Mirror Entity would only be the only secret, which is the aggro ones. And it replaces one of your guys instantly. You maintain board control. I think the card is very, very, very powerful. Fallen Hero, another mage card. 2 mana, 3/2, rare. Basic stat line there. Your hero power deals 1 extra damage, which means that it does 2. Now, we saw this on stream a lot, actually. It was played quite a few times, and it was insanely powerful. Early game, you play it as 2 mana, 3/2. They play a guy, you ping it. It's really good there. It was good late game, it was good early game, it was good in the mid game, it was good with other cards. It was just astonishing. At one point, it was duplicated so that the hero power became basically Dark Bomb, which is insanely just dumb, by the way, if anyone's wondering. And with other combos like the Dragon earlier and the Priestess, you can get less cost on your hero power. You can hero power multiple times in a turn. The funny thing is that while the other two probably need a bit of synergy to make them work, Fallen Hero in itself is just incredibly powerful on its own. So I think this card is one of the better 2-drops, and Mage needed a good 2-drop. Anyway. Frost Giant. Time for the obligatory giant of the set. 10 mana giant, 8/8, epic, as all the giants are. Costs 1 less for each time you've used your hero power this game. Keep in mind, this is not in your hand, this is the game. Which means that it will probably cost about 4 at its lowest. Maybe 3. The point is you play it later in the game, a bit like Molten, but this does not replace Molten. Molten is good against aggro decks, and also it will always cost 0 if you play it properly, whereas Frost Giant will probably cost anywhere between 4 and 6. I don't know. I don't think this is particularly good. I think it's okay. The problem is it dies to Big Game Hunter, and yes, that's a thing, and it's stupid, but it's a thing, so it dies to BGH, and that's a really bad thing for Frost Giant. Which means that I can't really say this will be good. The giants in general have to, like, Mountain Giant is good because it costs 4, basically, in handlock. Molten Giant is the best giant because it can cost 0, and yes, that's when you don't lose tempo to BGH. So, yeah, Frost Giant I don't really like. Maybe Paladin could make use of it, like Paladin Giants can run Frost Giants for late game. Because you use your hero power probably 6 times a game or 7 times a game with Paladin, so maybe that's the thing. But no, I think we'll have to see how the rest of the set shapes out, and you'll I don't know, you'll see my updated opinion when the entire set gets spoiled. Kodo Rider, 6 mana, 3/5, Inspire, summon a 3/5 War Kodo. Now, this is not the Stampeding Kodo, this is just a 3/5 beast. So, Kodo Rider is interesting because it's basically 8 mana, make 2 3/5s. Is that worth it? You're paying 8 mana for, what, 16 stats? That's about average, I think. 16 stats is about average. The thing is that if one of the 3/5 survives, you get another 3/5, and then another 3/5, then another 3/5. You get the idea. The point is it good? In Arena, I think this thing is overpowered in Arena. But in Constructed, I'm not sure. It might be a bit too slow. It's contending with things like Ragnaros, Dr. Boom. You get the idea. So I'm not that much of a fan of it, but I think it is very, very strong in Arena at the least. Last 4. Lock and Load. The most hilarious card in this entire setup. Lock and Load is a 2 mana Hunter Epic. Each time you cast a spell this turn, add a random Hunter card to your hand. Now these do stack, and it's hilarious. The thing is, it only works on spells, so this is not some sort of Hunter Rush card. This is not a face Hunter card. This is maybe a mid-range Hunter card, but they'd have to run a few more spells. I think this is the kind of card that if it shines, it'll shine in some sort of Inspire-based hero. Inspire-based control deck. Now, Hunter Control has been something that a lot of people have tried to build many times, and Steam Wheedle Sniper and Feign Death were the last bits that kind of hyped it up, but it just didn't get there. Lock and Load, maybe, I don't know, but that's a powerful effect. It draws a lot of cards. It's random though, so you can't really rely on it. So I don't know. I'm gonna say verdict is out on this one. I don't think it's spectacularly good, but I think it's playably powerful. Lowly Squire, 1 mana, 1/2, common with Inspire, gain +1 attack. Reasonable in Arena, bad and constructed. You're not Undertaker. I'm sorry, you're just not Undertaker. You're just not Undertaker. Like, seriously. This was played on stream and it was interesting. It was okay. It wasn't powerful. It was okay. Because it traded with a 3/2 and it looked reasonable, but then you realize that they had to use a hero power just to trade, and then you haven't really gained tempo from killing a 2-drop with a 1-drop. So, I don't think it's good. Tuskar Totemic. 3 mana, 3/2, Shaman, common, Battlecry, summon any random totem. Now there are currently 8 totems. There's the 4 hero power ones. There's, wait, are there 8? No, there's 7, I think. No, there are 8. So there's the 4 hero power totems. There's Flame Tongue Totem, Mana Tide Totem, the Healing Vitality Totem, and Totem Golem, which we'll get to. 4 of these are insane, kind of. I would actually say that in order, depending on the stage of the game, any of the card totems are good. Flame Tongue's good, it makes a 5/2 basically. Flame Tongue's good. Mana Tide's insane. Totem Golem is off the charts broken, by the way, if you get that. We'll get to that card when we get to it. Vitality is okay. Later in the game it's good, early in the game is terrible. Spell Power is always good, Taunt's always good. Healing's okay, and Searing is bad. Searing's the worst case, I think. So, Totemic is, I think, powerful. It depends on how many totems are in the game. If there's another card totem, so that you have a greater than 50% chance of actually getting a card totem instead of a hero power totem, I think it's good. We'll have to see, though. It's difficult to evaluate. You do get some really insane RNG on this sometimes. It's hard to evaluate now, but I think we'll have to see when a few more cards are spoiled and how many totems are going to be in this set. Speaking of totems, Totem Golem, 2 mana, Shaman, common. It's a common. Have fun with that in Arena, by the way. 3/4 with Overload 1. And it's a totem. What? What is that? That's not a card. That's dumb. Like, what? I don't even know what to say to that. It's a 2 mana 3/4. And before anyone's like, it has Overload, it costs 3 mana. No, it doesn't. It does not cost 3 mana. It's 2 mana, and then next turn you get to play another one, or you get to play a totem or a Flame Tongue Totem, and you get a 5/4. Like, ugh. I think one of my teammates actually made the joke of saying that we're starting to get to a point where Millhouse Manastorm could have no drawback and he'd be balanced. And we're actually getting to that point. But I'm happy this is lost, because this card is the kind of thing where I want to talk a little bit about the whole power creep thing, because it is something which you have to talk about. And a lot of people saying, oh, the class cards, it's fine. No, it's not. The class card argument is stupid, and I know class cards are supposed to be better than neutrals, but the point is that class cards are not supposed to be radically more powerful than anything conceivable in neutrals. So Totem Golem compared to Spider Tank, the card's a joke. Like, it's just not a thing. Even Dark Cultist. Dark Cultist is the only 3-drop which actually contends in power level that has 3/4 with Totem Golem. The reason for it is because that thing has a death rattle, which is insane. The reason I'm comparing it to 3-drops is because it has a stat line equivalent to 3-drops. Powerful 3-drops, I might add. These aren't even like low 3-drops. These are powerful 3-drops. 3/4 is above average stat line for a 3-drop. Just saying, it is. The other thing is that 2-drops don't even come close to this thing. You've got, what, Knife Juggler, which does more damage, sure. Mad Scientist draws a card, so that passes. It's a 2/2, and then draws a card, that passes. But Mad Scientist is incredibly overpowered as a 2-drop, and Totem Golem is on the same level in terms of cards. That is not right. Mad Scientist is already too strong, and Totem Golem is just up there. Now, what's funny about this is that most of the times when power creep exists, it exists in games to sell cards. However, in Hearthstone, power creep tends to exist because some classes are bad. Not even worse knowledge, just bad. And they're trying to break the mold by just pumping them full of overpowered cards until they work. This has happened before. It happened with Priest in GVG, where they got some of the most overpowered on paper cards in the entire set. Didn't really help, but the point is they tried. They got Dark Cultist, they got some really insane stuff. Shaman, last set got Fireguard, Destroyer, one of the most impressively stat-line 4-drops in the entire game. It just didn't matter because Shaman as a class has card draw issues. That's why they don't break up into higher tiers, because they have card draw issues. However, you can't fix a class by pumping it full of 3/4s for 2 mana. I don't even know what to say about this. The funny thing was, there was actually a game on stream where there was turn 1 Totem Golem, turn 2 just normal Totem, turn 3 Tuskar Totemic, summoning another Totem Golem, and he wiped his opponent out. It wasn't even close. There was like nothing he could have done. Absolutely zero thing. And he had Mad Scientist opening, and there was just nothing he could do. Because you can't beat that many 3/4s. It's just ridiculous. Like, coining out a Totem Golem is fine. Yeah, you can't play anything on turn 2. I guess you can Lightning Bolt something or something like that. But you can't play anything on turn 2. But you have a 3/4 turn 1. Like, what your opponent, it doesn't matter what they do. That whatever they play is a joke. Like, it overpowers Flame Imp easily. And Flame Imp is one of those 1-drops which is supposed to be equivalent to a 2-drop in terms of stat line with a drawback. Whereas Totem Golem is equivalent to a 3-drop with a drawback. But the thing is Flame Imp a powerful card? Yes. With a drawback, who cares half the time? It is relevant sometimes. But again, Totem Golem, the drawback is relevant sometimes, but not when it's a 2-mana 3/4. So yeah, I am a bit concerned about that. But I love Shaman, so I'll be playing it, but it went a bit far on this one, guys, I think. Like, I was expecting a 2-mana 3/3 at some point. I wasn't expecting a 2-mana 3/4. So, yeah, we'll have to see how this goes. But we haven't seen all the cards yet. Obviously, there's still, what, 100 to go? More, even 110 or something to go. So we'll have to see how this goes and how spoiler season goes. We should be getting them regularly, and I'll be making content about all of them. But anyway, before I head off, there is actually the Versus Series 1-year anniversary coming out later today or tomorrow. We did Best of 5 Tavern Brawl, and no, I'm not joking. We did Best of 5 Tavern Brawl. It was the 15 class card, 15 random neutral cards thing from last week, and it was hilarious. So yes, I'll be releasing that later, and yeah, anyway. Thank you all for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. If you have any feedback or just want to yell at me for something, put it in the comment section below. Bye for now, this has been Jotto, signing off.